Hello, Miro. Welcome to the Quantum Health Connection podcast. We are so excited to chat with you about homeopathy, cell salts, your journey with homeopathy, and how you've come to be making homeopathic, having a homeopathic pharmacy called Bestmade Natural Products. So we are so excited to chat with you today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Vanessa and Heather. It's great meeting you, ladies. Just before we start recording, we were just talking a little bit about introductions and stuff. So I figured I'll introduce myself. My name is Miro Posavec. My background is I'm a business guy, I'm a computer guy, I'm a finance guy. And what happened was my oldest son had a lot of weird health issues, right? And what happens is doctors just throw more and more pills at you, and it's getting worse and worse. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to figure this out myself. So I started doing the weird stuff. I started doing acupuncture, doing some other stuff, and then I stumped to homeopathy because I was going alphabetical, right? Acupuncture, Ayurveda, right? I was going through the alphabet, and I found homeopathy, and I'm like, this stuff is really cool because the way you study homeopathy, it's very much a diagnostic methodology, right? And the same, it leads into my dad was a mechanic, so I grew up around mechanical stuff. And I was doing computers, I was doing financial stuff. It's all the same framework mentally. So I got into homeopathy, and then I started learning more about it. And what happened was I was getting frustrated because a lot of the remedies I didn't care for. I'm like, I know I have the right remedy. I wasn't getting the results. And then I started looking around. I thought, you know what? A lot of the source materials in the U.S. were contaminated from GMOs and pesticides. Even if this guy says, "Hey, my farm is GMO," look, you got wind coming in from GMO farm down the road or 10 miles away. It's all the same stuff, right? So I ended up meeting up with suppliers based in Pakistan, and they had all the FDA and GMP certifications. So I started a relationship with them, and it's just so much fun because when I first ordered with them back in 2004, I had one box, and my last order from them was four full 40-foot containers.
Wow, it's quite the growth
So,
there.
so over the course of a 20-year, I'm a 20-year success story, instant. And it's been more of a passion project of mine than anything else, but that's kind of how I got started. That's how I got into it. And it's been a lot of fun for me. I have four kids. My youngest is 12. Uh, my older son still works for me. He runs all the website stuff. And
Nice.
my oldest daughter took on the career path, and my younger daughter is going to acupuncture school. So right now it's just
Love
me
it.
and my older boy, and my little boy comes and he washes dishes and stuff. I make him work, learn the business from the ground up.
But you have more of a team than that to make all your remedies, right?
No, no, it's just us. No,
Oh,
I'm kidding. We have a total of 25 direct staff,
right.
and we have probably another 40 contractors that we use. So
Wow.
the team has gotten big over the years. We sell literally metric tons of cell salts. That's our number one selling product. We sell the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, your cell salts work very well because I know I use them with clients before and use them in my home, and they're very good quality. So I really, yeah,
Thank you. I'm really real proud of them.
yeah.
We've done a good job with them. Different companies, and I can jump in here a little bit. And homeopathic remedies are made by spraying the solution on the pellets, right? That's how remedies are made. Cell salts kind of are between being a mineral supplement and being a homeopathic remedy. So they're right on the edge there. And how they're made is you take whatever mineral it is and you mix it up with the base material, which is lactose sugar, regular sugar, and they grind the crap out of it. And that grinding process is a substitute for the succussion. It's not done with regular homeopathic remedies, so they're made differently. And a lot of the companies make the cell salts the way they make the remedies, and it's just I don't think it's right. Like
Mm.
it just I don't think it has as deep an action as the
Mm.
situation does.
I did not know that. That's so helpful. Thank you.
The best example I give people, I say, if you're taking, let's say, for example, you're anemic and you have an iron deficiency, right? You're
Mhm.
taking a supplement, you're putting water into a leaking bucket, right? When you take a cell salt, ferrofos, you're fixing the bucket. So you're helping the body store, absorb, and use those nutrients more effectively.
Right.
So it's
It's like
more of a,
yeah, I use the example of like it's like a tuning fork for how to use the mineral better. It like reminds the body of how to use that better. And I mean it does. It makes a huge difference. I'm curious now because I've heard some homeopaths say, and now I'm curious what your would say is that you need, so say it was ferrum phos, iron phosphate that you needed to help, that you need the iron, which I'm not a big fan of iron supplementation anyway, but iron and ferrum, you would need both to really, like, you would need to use the actual crude substance plus the tissue salt to really bring it back to balance. Now I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I disagree with that from the premise of,
Hmm.
people survive on really crappy diets over the last 10 million years, right? Like 90% of what you're looking at is really just it's an absorption issue, right? And the absorption issue happens because of inflammation, allergic reactions, and is it chemicals? Is it Wi-Fi radiation? Like the why doesn't matter. It's where we are, right? And a lot of nutrients in food are missing. So Vanessa, I'm gonna say I don't agree with that. We see a lot of good results. I'm kind of in a unique position because I was a practicing homeopath before, but now I don't do that anymore because I'm just so busy with the business. But I see and hear from thousands and thousands of people, right? Because we sell so much stuff that I
Mhm.
get so much direct feedback. I kind of have a weird, more higher level look at it in terms of how homeopathy works for people. So I'm going to say, based on my experience observations, you don't need to supplement iron.
Right. Yeah. Well, particularly that one in particular, I would not recommend, but I agree with you as well. But I just was curious your perspective because I've heard some people say, oh, you need both, to really get it back. Say it was
Well, you need to
magnesium.
adjust. You need to adjust your diet. I think the number one thing that people forget in any kind of health issue is diet. Like
Yeah,
even people
it's
say, I
huge.
have a problem. My first question is, what are you eating? You know,
Mhm.
when I was consulting, I had this one girl had all these crazy problems, and I'm going through her diet. Her diet was okay. Then I saw her at a gas station one day. She had a big gulp of Diet Coke, right? And I go, how many of these are you drinking today? She goes, I drink 4 or 5. And I'm thinking, holy cow. Like, never mind the chemicals or the phosphoric acid or the stuff. I mean, that's gotta be like half a cup of
Half a cup of
salt.
sugar.
No,
Oh,
no, the Diet Coke is
salt.
aspartame and stuff, right? But salt. I mean, how's
Oh,
your body going to
Diet
metabolize
Coke.
that much salt?
Ooh.
So I had her cut it down to, like, hey, instead of the big gulps, get the smaller sizes. All her health problems went away. I mean, and we'd spend months trying different remedies, and we just,
Right.
like, I
Sometimes
got
there's an obstacle to cure that needs to be addressed, right? For sure. And if we don't address those obstacles to cure, so we cannot, like, totally fix the system and bring it back to balance. And there's actually just having a conversation with another colleague of mine, and one of the things that the client is struggling with is that she doesn't eat enough. Like she's really, really limited. And there's other reasons behind that. And homeopathy can bring that up and support that. But it was like, if you don't get her to start eating something, like she's never going to really heal because she just doesn't even have enough nutrients in her body to actually heal. Like she has to eat. So yeah, it's just interesting. We need those foundational things for sure.
absolutely.
Hmm.
So one of the things that I was curious about, Miro, is you have an idea that we're becoming overly focused on treating symptoms. I know you said earlier that homeopathy is like a diagnostic, approach, but the deeper questions about health, you just mentioned diet, and tell me more about that, like your overall philosophy about health.
Um, overall philosophy of health, and this is interesting. We're talking about this because, as you can tell, I'm over 30, right? And I'm I'm hitting this a little bit myself. And what I'm finding is I have to be so much more intentional with my diet, with my sleep, with my exercise, right? When you're young, it's so forgiving. When you're healthy, it's forgiving. But all of a sudden, one day you wake up and you say, okay, you know, I had a health crisis. Now I got to recover from it. And I think those those things are a real reality. Like if you look at stuff like food delivery services, I mean, Generation Z is eating like 80% of the meals through takeout, right? Not only is that a bad financial decision, but they're getting so many chemicals, right? And I live in a hot climate, and I think about this sometimes. People order, DoorDash. I'm thinking that food has been sitting in a car that's, 95 degrees for 40 minutes, right? So how many more foodborne illnesses are you getting from that extra time frame?
And chemicals and
And chemicals and too much salt and stuff, right? Now, I love salt, but like sometimes I'll have some restaurant, I'm like, this is even too salty for me, and I love salt. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. It depends on the type of salt too that we're using, right? The quality of salt. But yeah, no, that's definitely a major problem in today's day and age is, nutrition is a huge thing. And a lot of younger people don't want to cook. They don't have time. They're too busy, that kind of thing. So one of the things that I'm always working with clients is trying to foster that, that love of, cooking and eating healthy food because it is a foundation, to health is like I said, it could be another obstacle to cure if you're not, putting the building blocks in that we need.
It's so interesting. Like right now, I'm in Croatia, in Europe, right? And here, the culture, all the fridges here are really small. People don't stock up once a week. They go every day to the market, right?
Fresh.
They walk a mile to the market. They get
Mhm.
fresh vegetables and stuff for that day. I had a salad at lunch today, and a little green bug came out of it, okay? And I'm thinking, this salad is fresh, right? Like I'm sharing this with the bug on here. And you
Oh,
think
I
about
love
that
that.
in North America, you don't get that. People stock up and they have these special sprays and stuff. Like here, if you buy, like for example, strawberries, you got to eat them that day because
Because they're gonna spoil fast because they're not
they're gonna spoil the
picked
next morning.
early. Yes, and stored and all that. Vanessa, can you pause this? I'm so sorry, you guys. I'll cut this out. I thought my
Yeah, so that's true. Like when you get like the apple and it lasts, 2 weeks on your counter or more, like it's maybe not the best thing for our bodies. Like something is not amiss there. We always, Heather and I was promoting buying local and seasonal and trying to nourish your body that way the best that you can. And, of course, if you can grow your own food, that's even better. But how beautiful is that to walk to the market, get your fresh vegetables and fruits and come back and enjoy them with the bugs? I love it.
It's
Exactly.
so funny. My family's off the boat, and growing up, my parents were off the boat. My mom had three boys to feed. I have two older brothers, and we go out and we pick beans and all you can pick stuff, and my mom would we do we'd pickle everything, we'd have getting ready, we do all this preparation work. And it's so interesting how just in one generation those skills have been completely lost.
Yeah.
And anyone who talks about pickling or making their own sauces, like, oh no, you're a prepper, you're a nut job. Like these are regular skills that people should have. One of my uncles here was here in the war in the 90s. They had the war here. And what happened was he had a couple of these city kids were in there, and obviously, supply lanes of war. These boys were hungry, and a couple of these kids that grew up in the country, they were able to catch a turkey, pull the feathers off it. They're having a feast, and these poor city kids, they had no idea what to do with that. Like they were just starving. I think these skills are so fundamental, not just for survival in terms of health, but when the zombies get here, you got to be ready.
It's true though. Like it is a dying art and it's sad. Like I do a lot of that. Like I do like my own ferments, I do make my own yogurt, I do make my own sauces, things like this. So my kids actually know a little bit about that, but like their friends don't know that information. Like and they don't, it is kind of sad because these are skills that we should know how to do. We should know how to be empowered and take care of ourselves. And, it's
Yeah,
scary.
Vanessa, my dad, like rabbit is kind of a delicacy, right? And my
Hmm.
dad used to raise rabbits, and we remember once we had a rabbit on our barbecue, and we told the neighborhood kids it was a cat. The cat sprayed the closet one time too many, and look what happened to him.
Oh, that's wicked. Oh my
I
goodness. Well,
did
you're
rabbit stew one time. I have to just say this. I did rabbit stew one time. My kids were like, I'm not eating that. I'm like,
It was awesome. It
it's
was so
really
funny.
good though.
It's
They
really
were
good.
afraid of it.
It's funny. My son and I were driving through Poland, and we stopped in a gas station, and they had fresh roast duck at a gas station,
Mm,
and it was
Wow,
spectacular. I don't know
incredible.
if
that's
you've had duck.
insane.
It's
Not getting
hard to
that
eat
here.
duck well because it's usually greasy, but it was spectacular. I mean, these
That's,
people know what they're doing.
Sounds
that's
amazing. So you're
yeah.
well positioned. I mean, not only do you have you experienced the sort of traditional old school methodologies that used to be commonplace and the norm, you also know how to make your own medicine. So that's pretty, pretty good. You're well positioned for whatever may come to help nourish yourself. So how did you actually learn how to make the remedies? Did you just, there was no YouTube you're looking up things on. So who tutored
Um,
you?
I took a homeopathic pharmacy course with the British Institute of Homeopathy. It was a remote learning course,
Hmm.
and they did a pretty good job of teaching the basics. over the years, a lot of, and Vanessa, I don't know if I'm going to step on your toes here. A lot of the homeopaths have gotten to the weird stuff in terms of, essence remedies. I'm really much a classical homeopath guy. Unless the
Mhm.
remedy's been out for 150 years, I don't want to hear about it. They have all this guy's like, I imagined a remedy. Like, shut up. Shut up. Get away from me. Get away from me. Like, this stuff
Yeah.
is really out there. Like, I'm in a pretty woo-woo, let's call it an industry, but some of these people are really out there. And I'm all about practical, what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
sound
Vanessa
like
knows
you're
exactly what
gonna
I'm talking about. Like, some of these people are really out there.
doesn't sound like
Yeah.
you're gonna carry any Fibonacci's anytime soon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I do like the Fibonacci's and I do see them work pretty well. But however, I do think the tried and true remedies, like your classical polycrests, are so, so powerful. And most people need several of those throughout their lifetime. And they work really tremendously. So, there are sometimes you see this outside remedy that like I've seen it, like because I've worked with teachers who do use some of these outside remedies. My one teacher, we just had her on recently, Anka Zimmerman, she had told a story about a kid who just kept having dreams about this fish and this fish thing kept coming up and she gave him a fish remedy and it worked. And it was like you wouldn't expect it, but it was actually the cure. Right. So I think we just always have to be open-minded to like whatever is possible, like that people could need. But I mean, I think the tried and true classical remedies, that's the majority of what I use. So yeah.
Yeah, they cover so much. Like we developed a software package, and it's like a phone app that does a very quick, acute
Oh, nice.
diagnostic, right? And I use it myself all the time because when you're in the middle of it, you can't really think clearly anyway. And
Yeah.
we have 120 remedies in that, and that's plenty. We're
Yeah.
doing a big kit with 120 polycrest, and that'll cover 90% of stuff, 90% of the time. Obviously, you'll have like a weird case here and there,
Yeah.
but like generally, like the big polycrest will move so much so well. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's really true. So how long were you a homeopath for, did you say?
About 10 years.
About 10 years. And what made you shift out of that? I'm curious. You just were like, okay, I want to make remedies now and have a business, or did you get
Uh,
burnt out? Because homeopathy is that can happen.
it's actually a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm better suited towards like problem solving, right?
Yeah.
And the problem with a lot of homeopathy is people come to homeopathy when they've tried everything else,
Oh
right?
yeah. Hmm.
Especially here in North America. I work with a lot of Spanish immigrants that were farm workers. I'm married with a lot of farming, and
Hmm.
those guys were great because they come see me. They ate pretty healthy. They worked outside all day, and they weren't taking 15 medications. Like Vanessa, your average American is coming to see you, and they have a shopping bag full of medications they're taking. So how do you untangle the case from the medications,
That's
right?
hard.
And do that. So I got a little burnt out, and also a lot of stuff was some people's illnesses became so much a part of who they were in their identity that you couldn't separate it.
Oh yeah.
And I don't have the how to put this delicately. I don't have the ability to be delicate with people. So
Yeah.
it was not good. But I
You're
ended
like,
up
you need to stop victimizing yourself. You just
well,
wanted to
well,
say that. Yeah. Yeah.
your life is a mess because you're a mess, right? I just but no, I actually had a lot of fun in my practice. I generally attracted people that were looking for a specific type of person. So that was a lot of fun. And I just
Mm.
got out of it just because it was so much work.
Mm.
And the remedy business was just taking off. And I felt I could help more people this way than I could the other way.
Hmm. I'm curious. I have a question. What's your favorite polycrest since we were talking about it? You have a favorite
My
remedy?
favorite polycrest, I
Oh,
gotta
just
say
favorite
phosphorus.
remedy.
I got
Which
phosphorus is one of my favorites.
phosphorus is a great remedy. I've
I
used it.
knew a homeopath, one of my mentors, he'd give everybody sulfur. And it's kind of
Well,
a joke because, like, Heather, if you're studying homeopathy, sulfur is like the biggest polycrest. Like, you look in the book, and sulfur is like 500 pages of crap, right? So if you don't know what to do, throw sulfur at them. It'll move something.
Open up the
It
case,
always
yeah.
it always opens the case. Yeah, we were taught that, Heather. Give sulfur or thuya, one or the other. One of them is going to open. If you pick one, if you don't know what to do, give one of those because it's going to open up the case. That's what we were taught.
Right.
And true, sulfur it's such a wide-reaching remedy, but I see so much sulfur in people too, though, that it really does move the needle. It does help them, and it makes them feel so much better. So it's a great one.
Have you ever done any work with flower remedies?
With flower essences?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, so I got a great case for you. When I was in practice, I would give people Star of Bethlehem to open up the case and kind of figure stuff out,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So I gave this one guy Star of Bethlehem because he was just a very closed off guy, very middle-aged guy, very, very structured, right?
Mm.
So I said, "How's the remedy going?" He goes, "It's terrible." I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "I'm up all night." I go, "What do you mean you're up all night?" Like I hadn't heard that before. His mind was deconstructing. He was a car mechanic, was taking cars apart in his subconscious and putting them back together. So he was processing his emotional trauma
Through
through
cars.
auto repair inside his mind.
Whoa.
Like how cool is that, right?
That's
I
incredible.
do love Star of Bethlehem. It is such a good, beautiful flower remedy. Oh my God. Do you sell those on your website as well? Do you sell
I don't
those?
really sell them. We have our version of rescue called Instant Calm.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
What's
the
in your
flowers.
instant calm? What's in that? Do you
It's
know?
rescue remedy.
Oh, it's rescue remedy. Yeah.
But we
Okay.
can't call it. We used to call it rescue
Yeah.
remedy, and then we got a mean letter from the rescue remedy people. And like, you can't do
Oops.
that. I'm like, "Ah,
Yep.
okay.
You can't call it that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What's funny? I did not know it was a trademark. It's been a trademark from like
I didn't
1920 or
know that
something.
either. I didn't
I
know
didn't
that.
either.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's
it's a great remedy combination. So, yeah.
There, I had this person who left the industry, but she was a wizard with the flower remedies. When I
Mm,
was working with her, she'd give me cases, and the flowers would solve the case. Some
yeah.
people she was a wizard with them. I have no other word for it. I had a young lady had premature labor. Her husband got back on drugs, and her life was a dumpster fire. And she was like halfway through her pregnancy, having labor, having this stuff, and they had her in the hospital. They were giving her the medications, the IVs. Nothing was stopping the contractions. I called this friend of mine and said, "Look, I need a flower remedy for this girl because I got nothing in my toolbox." She gave me a combination, stopped the contractions. She was home later in the day, delivered a full term.
I love that because that just says so much. Because the flower essences are really working on the mental emotional. So, how much that mental
100%.
emotional is driving that issue. And I had this one sad thing with a client of mine. It was before I was using flower essences and I wasn't really prescribing them yet. It was like a year or two ago. And I had sent her to another practitioner. I'm like, go to this practitioner because she really knows flower essences. And the practitioner said, told her that it wouldn't move things on the physical level, only on the mental emotional level. I'm like, how is that possible? Those things are intertwined and connected. They are never separate. You are one. So I was disheartened by that practitioner who I thought was really good at this business or good at knowing how to do flower essences, but she had told this client of mine that it wouldn't shift things on the physical. And then it put it in her brain, I think, which made a block a little bit. So I was disappointed with that because I thought that was going to make a big difference for her.
No,
So
I'd be salty too because that's not how it works.
no, yeah, it's all connected. I've seen, you move, it's all one person. You're one person. You can shift things on the on the mental terrain and emotional terrain. You shift things on the physical terrain. I mean, we know that with homeopathy.
One of my biggest pet peeves with conventional medicine is looking at a person at that specific thing. So, for example, I have a client, long-term client with high blood pressure,
Mm.
and I'm talking to the guy, and they're just treating the high blood pressure and stuff. I'm like, and plus he gets a lot of UTIs. I'm like, dude, I said, you're having a kidney problem. You're not having a high blood pressure problem because the kidneys control the high blood pressure, right? But nobody on his medical team. This guy has good insurance. He has a concierge care, and nobody's looking at the whole picture, right?
Well, they're always decompartmentalizing and looking at just as one little thing, and they don't look how things are connected. And that's the huge part of the problem with our medical system, besides the fact that they're suppressing everything. But yeah.
One of the things that happens is a lot. I'm sure you've had this in your practice as well. Part of the questionnaire in homeopathy is never well since.
Hmm.
What triggered this event? And 9 times out of 10, it's a divorce, a death in the family, some giant stressful event. Like you didn't get diabetes at 45. You got diabetes because your dad died,
mm-hmm.
you know?
100%.
And absolutely the mental emotional state is huge.
Huge. Or it's a medical intervention that they've never been well since. I see that. Of course, we see
Yes,
that
absolutely a
often,
lot.
a lot, very, very often. Very, very, very common. Yeah. Yeah.
You had a story you were going to tell us earlier, Miro, but I can't remember what the topic was about that story, and I'm still excited about it, but I can't remember.
What were we talking
So,
about? It was good. What were we talking about? You'd asked me a couple of questions. Come on, Heather, help me out here because it's a
well,
good
it
story.
was about you making your own remedies in Pakistan. It was just so interesting, and somewhere along the way, you said, "Oh, I want to tell you the story on camera," but it'll come back. We have
Oh,
to
okay. I
test
got,
our
I got the
memories.
story. Okay, I
Okay,
got the
good,
story.
good,
So
good.
Okay, so before we started this call, we were talking about sourcing different tinctures, right? And how tinctures are made. So basically, a tincture takes the plant, mineral, or animal matter, and depending on what it is, if it's a let's call it a plant or animal thing, and let's say it's squid ink or let's sepia or something else, right? So I got a call from we supply other manufacturers with tinctures because we have a huge library of tinctures. So they asked for this. Um, it's it's the gallbladder from some kind of reindeer that's in the hills of Nepal and
Mm.
Pakistan, right? And there's two kinds of deer. One is the Siberian deer, and one is the one from Nepal. They're genetically pretty identical, right? But there's two different deer. And the one from Nepal is an endangered species, right?
Mm.
So the other manufacturer had asked me if I could provide them the tincture of this endangered species, which
Oh.
is which is obviously now in that part of the world, you tell someone,
Mm.
hey, go find this deer, kill it, send me a stomach, I'll give you some money, they'll do it, right? So when we open up this can of worms, I'm like, I can't supply this to you because I'll go to jail for trafficking in endangered species parts, right? And
Oh my
the
God.
funny part is my suppliers actually had a stock of that tincture because my supplier's been in business for over 100 years. They had a huge library of tinctures. So I actually had it, but I couldn't import or sell it to them.
Crazy. That's
Because
crazy.
I
What
thought
was that going to be used for? I was just so curious.
it's actually a pretty big polycrest. It's been around for a while. It's
Didn't know that
What
remedy.
is it called?
I can't remember now, but if I
Oh,
find it, I'll look it up for you. But it was
yeah.
when you mentioned I was
Always
going
looking to know about other remedies that can be supportive, right? So,
but that was so cool. I was like, I can't bring that over here. Like, there's no way I'm gonna bring that because what we have our GMP certifications, which means good manufacturing practices, right? We have it over there and we have it over here, and everything is documented within an inch of its life. You know, if someone buys a product from us that has a batch number on there, and I can trace with that batch number where I got the pellets, where I got the remedies, where I got the bottles, when they came in, how many were made, like it's all very carefully, for public safety, everything's carefully documented.
right. That makes me think about, do you have expiration dates on your remedies? I can't remember. I'm just so curious.
We do not.
Okay, you
Uh,
do not. Okay.
we do not.
I just find it funny when some people do. I'm like, don't they never expire?
They changed the law recently before we had to have a 5-year expiration date on them, especially for cell salts. I'm like, they're inorganic salts,
I
right?
never made one.
They're they're good for like as long as you store them properly, they're good for 100 years. I think I started homeopathy originally in the late 90s. I have remedies in my box I still use,
There you go.
right?
That's
Back? Am
funny.
I back? Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I don't know what happened. You good?
Yeah, we're good.
My connection is unstable. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Did you answer my question about the remedies expiring?
I
Yes.
did. I did. It
Okay.
was brilliant.
So, do you
Okay.
ever worry about the meddling of the powers that be or them changing, the laws or whatever kind of crap?
So, so they changed the laws about 2 years ago where they're going from before one of the directors of the FDA was actually a homeopath and a doctor. And he wrote, I'm going to try to keep this simple. He wrote a regulation called 400.400. And that basically took homeopathy completely separate from regular drugs. And it was a great thing to do because just it kept us separate from everybody else. And over
Mm.
the last couple of years, Big Pharma has been pressuring because homeopathy has been growing in popularity because homeopathy works.
Oh yeah.
So they changed it to more of a risk-based model based saying, oh, this is arsenic in it. It'll probably kill people. Like, here's a secret. All the best remedies are poisons. You know,
Seriously, right?
they really are.
Like
Water is a
sepia.
poison.
Sepia is
Yeah,
such a
too
great
much.
remedy, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of it, arsenic, belladonna, like all of it. Um, we had an issue with the laws change where we had an entire shipment stuck in customs and they
Mm.
kidnapped our shipment for the better part of a year and a half and we still don't have it.
God. You have no
And that
I
was
know.
recourse. No recourse. There's nothing you can do.
well, I could sue the government, but the amount of money it would cost and time it would take, there's no point. And then you're putting a target on your back saying, "Hey, I'm a poopy head. And I'm gonna make your life difficult." There's no point. I just swallowed it and got my next shipment in.
Wow.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Um,
Yeah, when we were learning homeopathy, when I was studying homeopathy, these kind of things were coming out, and homeopathy was removed from like stores and things like this. And I was like, all right, I just started stocking up and started building a
oh,
really big pharmacy for myself, just not even for clients, just for myself to be sovereign for my family, so it could be because once you have a remedy, you have it forever, basically. And it was just like, I'm not going to allow that to be taken away from me. So I just stocked up. No?
So I'm on several committees. I'm on
Nice,
a manufacturing standards committee
nice.
with a bunch of other people. It's terrible. I hate it. I'm on the political action committee where we're trying to change the laws. I hate that too. Um, you get on a Zoom call with like 50 people, and everybody wants to talk and everybody wants to be smart. It's exhausting.
Oh,
And Vanessa, and you know this, there's a lot of really wacky homeopaths out there. They're
I've
their own
heard.
special breed of just specific type of academic, and they're just so hard to work with.
Mm,
What I mentioned earlier when I talked about I was working with different populations as a practicing homeopath. What happens in real life homeopathy and what's being taught in the schools is very different.
How do you see
mhm.
what's the difference?
Yeah.
A couple things. Number one thing is if you look at the literature, they're like if you find the right remedy in the right dose, that's going to cure the case. First of all, that was before we had radiation, pollution, food quality, all this other crap, right?
Hmm.
I have never seen a case cured with one remedy ever. Like
Hmm.
you have to repeat the remedies because there's so much environmental things that happen. And in the books, like, well, he just didn't get the right remedy. He didn't get the right potency. There is no potency you can give someone that's going to fix the problem in one shot. There isn't. I'm sorry.
No,
Um,
much more complex than that.
yeah,
Sometimes in more pure children, one remedy I feel like I can make a difference with, and it's kind of shocking. But typically in this day and age, I do see that it's a sequence of remedies, correct sequence of remedies, combination sometimes of remedies.
right,
Sometimes we have to clear things. Allopathic drugs need clearing. These things have to happen there. So I think that just being open to all different ways because we were taught extremely classical, Heather and I, one
right.
remedy at a time. And I was actually going to ask you this question, so this brings up this question because it was one remedy at a time, no combinations, one single potency at a time, wait and see kind of thing. And you have a lot of combinations on your website, as I understand, correct?
No,
So what are
I
your
love
thoughts on those combinations? Like,
I
because we were,
love this. I love this question
yeah.
because I get all the hate from the classical homeopaths on this one, right? I get all the hate. I get they come into my comments and they call me names. Here's and again, this is my own philosophy here, and this is borne out by my observations. Um, Everybody has a weak spot, right? So let's call it some people have stomach issues, whatever else, and some people have a chronic illness. Sometimes there is no cure, right? Very often you'll have a case with someone where they'll come to you with, let's call it migraines, right? And they're good. You give them the remedies, they're good, they're good. And what happens is the migraines will come back when they're stressed, if somebody dies, they're having a hard time, they're having other
Yeah.
health problems, right? So I think every organism has a specific weak spot. Um, and sometimes people are just old and worn out and they're not going to cure, right? No, I'm being very blunt here, right? We have
No,
people
it's true.
in their 80s and 90s, right? So
And
what
it's
I
more
find,
palliative care. Yeah.
yeah, so what I find is the combinations are super effective for long-term management of
Mm,
symptoms,
mm,
right?
I like that.
Are they going to address the mental emotional issues? No.
Mm-mm.
But let me give you an example. I had a young lady start with me and I gave a combination that I don't really sell to the public. It's called super infections, and basically it helps the body boost the immune system and helps the body fight off infections. Um, she had cystic fibrosis, right?
Mm.
And she was able to live well and like she's still alive. She's gonna be in her 40s now. She went through a lung transplant. She had a couple of children, which is huge, right? So this lady had, and this lady is having an extremely good life, and she's been on this one combination remedy for the better part of probably 25 years, right?
Wow.
And for that specific health condition, there isn't a cure to that, right? And because the way her lungs are having issues is she didn't have the ability to expel bacteria and stuff out of her lungs, so she was in a constant state of infection.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Well, at least you're able to support her and give her
Exactly. Yeah, I don't.
care, even if it's palliative and not
It,
cure. It's still a good use to give her a better quality of life.
oh,
Absolutely.
100%, 100%. I mean, she's a poster child for medical team and all sorts of stuff, and they've obviously taken excellent care of her, but that's one of the things. So
Mm,
my answer to that question is usually, if you're looking for a specific problem, the combination remedies help a lot. Like one of our top sellers, we have a product for fibroids, right?
mm,
And fibroids affect 30-40% of women in childbearing age, right?
mm.
And conventional medicine is either they put you on the pill
Yeah.
or they do hysterectomy. That's kind of your options, right? Or they go in the operating on a regular basis. We have a lot of good feedback on that product.
Mm,
And usually what happens is when they stop taking the product, they'll have to come back and take it again. So again,
mm.
it's care. It's not a cure, it's care.
Right. Where if maybe if you get that one constitutional remedy, that might knock it out for them so it doesn't come
Oh,
back.
100%. But Vanessa, I mean, you're a homeopath. Finding the constitutional remedy, that's not a 5-minute thing. It's
No,
not.
it's not. No, it is not. It's
It's
not,
not.
it's
Oh,
not even a one consult thing because sometimes we don't get it right on the first one and we got to see again and again and again because it's not an easy job. It's when we
no.
have
And something else people don't understand is you made a great point is, you have to clear stuff off. Like a lot of times you're clearing stuff off with fertility cases. I'd have to clear off like emotional trauma, past sex abuse, all this other stuff before
Oh
you
yeah.
even get to the fertility problem,
Right.
right?
So you get to the core, to the real remedy. Yep.
Exactly. So I think that's tricky saying, well, like, is it best for every person to get a professional homeopath and get the single remedy? Absolutely.
hmm Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So let's get into cell salts a little bit and chat about those because that's you said your biggest
Sure.
seller. And yeah, so tell us a little bit about if we've had discussions about cell salts, but in case somebody new is listening, tell us what that is and why people should use them in their life. Because I do think that is something that people can really self-prescribe and use a lot to support a lot of things in their daily regular life. So
All right. So cell salts, this guy Schlusser, like 200 years ago, he cremated somebody. Well, I don't know if he just took somebody off the street and cremated them, but they analyzed that. And there's like 12 basic minerals that make up the human body, right? And we always think minerals are just bones and stuff, right? But they hold up the structure of the cells, right? Think about the cell as a little glob of stuff. The
Mhm.
minerals hold that together. They also, like, if you take distilled water, it's an insulator. It's the minerals in water that make water a conductor, right? So these
Yep.
minerals support cellular structure, cellular function. They support communication within the cells. They support your nervous system because they help you conduct stuff, right? So they really are the building blocks of the body. The coolest thing with cell salts is, number one, there's only 12 of them. It's not that complicated. I mean, when we sell our kits, we have a basic chart that we sell with it. Working with somebody else, we're actually publishing a 40-page how to use cell salt books. We'll have that with our kits probably the next few months. And I
Oh, I
love it
love that.
because it's 40 pages. Like, it's not 400 pages. It's 40 pages, but it's something anybody can learn off the cuff. Like, I hurt my back, and hold on a second here. I've been doing too much traveling, so sitting on my butt in a plane and cars. So I got some Mag Phos. I've been eating them like Tic Tacs, right? And Mag Phos, again, magnesium phosphate, that helps you with any kind of pain and soreness, right?
Mhm. It's so
And
good for women with their menstrual cycles as well.
oh,
It's one, and
100%.
I'm like, please just eat the Mag Floss if you have to while we're working on the deeper stuff. Like it's all good.
You know, go off topic a little bit. When I first started doing homeopathy classes and courses, they're like, "Oh, cell salts are the placebo you give to people while you figure out the
Yes, yes,
case."
That's
yes.
how
No,
they described it. Oh
we
my
were taught
gosh.
that too, though, Heather. We're like,
That
oh,
is a load of
you can give the
crap.
12-in-1 cell salt as a placebo, and I'm like, that is not
Oh,
what it
that's
is.
right. You're
Yes,
right. I forgot
we were
about
taught
that.
No,
that. Yes, we
What a
were.
no, it's a
disservice to
load of
cell
crap.
salts.
No.
Well, when I first started selling the remedies for my suppliers overseas, they're like, "Why aren't you selling cell salts?" I'm like, "I can't give them away." They're like, "This is stupid." They're like 80% of our sales globally, right? And here, just in the last, I'm gonna say in the last like 10 years, they've picked up steam because they work, they're easy, they're safe.
Yeah.
Like, if you got a newborn baby, give them a couple of bits of Nat Phos if they got a little bit of if they're a little bit of reflux, boom.
That's
and
my
it's
favorite cell salt. I use Nat Floss all
oh
the time. I love it. I love it.
no,
And
it's
silica, my nails, my hair, my teeth all feel better and stronger. It's like, yes,
okay. Do you want to hear a slightly inappropriate story about silica?
Absolutely.
we love inappropriate stories. Go for it.
So one of my colleagues, I was at a conference, and this lady's a homeopath. She's got to be in her almost 80s, right? Very proper lady and very educated, like just amazing person, highly qualified. I'm not even sure she's still alive. So we're talking, right? And she goes, I have a problem with Celicia when I give to people. I said, what's the problem? She goes, it ejects piercings from people's private parts.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I'm
So,
just
so I sat there, and she actually used the term, forgive me here, clit rings,
Oh
right?
my God, that's
And I
yeah.
sat there, and first of all, I will never forget this story as long as I live, because you have to imagine this is a very proper lady having this conversation with her, and out of her mouth spits out clit rings, and I'm just like, I beg your pardon, right? But now that I've heard
Well,
that,
silica does remove what does not belong in the body.
it
So,
will it will push out, like if you've had bits of glass stuck in there, or if you have it'll push stuff out like crazy, and that's really what
mhm.
it's for. But now,
Yeah.
Heather, now that I've said that, you will never forget that, will you?
absolutely not. Yeah, no,
No,
that's
no one
hilarious.
forgets. No, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not only that, it also helps with, I believe silica is one of the ones that helps calcium get where it needs to go, if I'm correct. And then it
It,
like,
it, it helps with bone structure. I mean,
yeah.
the 5-FOS is great for any kind of like bone break and that kind of stuff. Calc 4, soft
Mhm.
tissue,
Oh, yeah.
tendons. I had a case a while back. I had a woman, she was menopausal, low bone density, broke a bone would not heal, it would not knit. They even
Mm.
gave a little vibration machine, just the bones would not heal up. I gave her 5-FOS, and what we've been doing lately
Wait,
is
you're saying five phos? You're saying gal phos? What is five phos?
5-FOS is biochemistry 24. It includes all the FOSses.
Oh, okay. So that's one of your combination cell salts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Five phos. So it's
Yeah.
including all the phosphors. I
The
got
terminology I use sometimes is really old terminology because my supplier's overseas.
it.
So in the
Hmm.
rest of Europe and Asia, they use these old terms.
Hmm.
Whereas, like for example, biocombination 28 of all 12 self salts,
Yes.
Highlands calls it bioplasma. We call it bio 28. It's the same
Okay.
stuff,
Thank
right?
you.
Okay. Yep.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So this lady wasn't healing at all, and instead of giving her a bottle of Biofos, I gave her a jug. I gave her a 1 pound jug of this stuff because we're selling it in jugs now.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, look, I said, I want you, like, every time you put something in your mouth, put 1 or 2 pellet feathers in your mouth. Every
Yeah.
time you open your mouth, put a couple pellets in there.
I've heard of
And
that. Yeah.
in 4 weeks, her bones have knitted together.
It's
That's
like a mega
amazing.
dosing. Do you think how important is it for people to be concerned about the potencies of the cell salts, or how do you see that?
Yeah, I have heard about that with the 12x versus the 6x and certain cell salts. So what is your thoughts about that? That's a good question.
Um, I don't like cell salts at 12x. I like cell salts at 6x. I just like that. It's that nice bridge between a physical product and homeopathic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't like 12x. I mean, take as much as you want. You want to eat a bottle every day, eat a bottle every day. I think past a certain point, your body's not going to use it anyway.
Hmm.
Here's a fun dosing tip that I got from a friend of mine, which makes a
Mm.
lot of sense to me, and I've been doing it. What I'll do is I'll keep certain cell salts I take regularly. I'll keep them in my desk at work. So at work, I'll munch on them here and there, and then the weekend I'm taking the time off. So I'm randomizing the
Yes.
frequency and physicality of how much I'm dosing. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah, yeah. I've done that with clients, like week on, week off, 5 days on, 2 days off, kind of thing. Yep. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
reminding your body of, okay, well, how do I use this when I don't have this input? Like can I
exactly.
kind of recalibrate on my own? Yeah. And then it's a great little tip as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's smart, Vanessa. I see a lot of people don't do. They're like super strict with this, and this. Mix it up.
Yeah, yeah. Also, if you can be intuitive about it, like I'm super intuitive with cell salts because I just keep all 12 here at my house and I just use them when I want. And I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling this, I just take it, like, and then just once you have that knowledge, that's why I'm so glad you're coming with that little book and that kit, people can understand how to use them because they can be really, really powerful. And like you got a headache, you can use this one, you got this, you got that. Like it's just like, oh, okay, there you go. And they work. So,
So, so we use humans for packing here, right? And one of the quality control checks that we do is have everybody taste them, make sure they're okay, right? Because sometimes in shipping, I'll have like I'll have a jar I'll crack open and get like mildew, so we always smell it, we always taste it and stuff, right? And my staff had asked, I said, Miro, are we going to overdose on these things? Because you figure they're chomping them all day. I'm like, you're great. One of the things that have you read Goldman's book on homeopathic prophylactics, where they're using
No.
homeopathic remedies as
I
a
mean, I know
as a
about homeopathic
vaccines?
prophylaxis. Oh, you're talking about Isaac Golding?
That's
Oh,
it. Yeah. Have
oh,
you read
yeah.
Yeah,
that?
I haven't read his books yet, but I do know about his work, and I've listened to a lecture or two on him, but I haven't read his book yet.
Okay. So I'm working on this thesis here, and you can stop me if I get boring. But these homeopath guys, they live to their 80s when everybody else was dying at 40, right? So if you look at that in today's, I'm saying, hey, you know what? This guy is a doc. This kind of doctor can live to 160. I'd listen to whatever he was saying, right? Let's call that what it is. So my thesis is this: by proving remedies, you're improving your overall health and lifespan.
That makes sense.
100%. I
And that's what
totally agree with
Goldman's
that.
theory is. So I told my staff, I said, look, I said, if you're doing Arnica 200 Cs and you're chomping every 5 minutes, and all of a sudden you're having a reaction, all that's going to do is going to improve your health long term.
Yeah, exactly. Those aggravations, provings, whatever you want to call them, they are health upgrades, which sometimes can be challenging at times. But yes, I do agree 100%. But I
I
don't
was
think I was going to ask you this question. Provings from cell salts, I've not seen that. So I don't
um I
aggravate.
have
You
I
have? Oh,
have.
you have. Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
so we sell so much stuff that
Yeah.
about 3 times a year, I will get someone that is so sensitive, they'll have
Yeah.
this catastrophic reaction, right? And at first, you feel terrible because you're going through this, right? And once they calm down, I'm like, look, here's what's going to happen. They're like, what? I said, you took one dose of a product that kicked your ass all over the place, right? But what you have now is you understand you have a tool in your toolbox that's going to profoundly affect your health, right? So where someone else would need to take a remedy, like a lot of the carbs, you got to give them that remedy for 5 years before you make a dent in it, right?
It's so true.
But but someone that's super sensitive, basically they'll take one pellet, put it in water, take that water once a week, and they're actually cured. Like these few people that are that sensitive to it, I told them, I said, this is your magic ticket for your health. No matter what happens in your health from now on, you find yourself a good homeopath, and you tell them, say, look, dude, whatever dose or frequency you want to give me, like knock it down by 10. And then that person is set up for life. And I get a couple of those, probably I'm gonna say 3 or 4 of those a year that stumble into our products and have some
Mm-hmm.
crazy reaction.
Yeah.
But
So I
I've
I'd say
don't.
not
back,
seen that from cell salts before, so that's good to know. And I work with a lot of sensitive clients, so that's interesting. So yeah,
Did we
but
talk about this on camera, you guys? What makes your cell salts better than the other competitors? I don't remember if we addressed that already.
um, yeah, what we do with our cell salts, a couple things. Um, Number one, they use magnesium cerate as a binder and it makes them dissolve, right?
Mm,
We use a very small amount of magnesium cerate in our pellets. We use just enough space to hold together. So the downside of that is it makes mine like little concrete balls. So they're a little harder to chew. They don't dissolve that quickly. But I think it's more true to the classic formulas, right?
mm,
So that's part of it. Another part of it is some manufacturers just spray the cell salts on there where we actually triturate them,
that's the difference. Yeah.
right? Someone asked me if they're ionically charged. Yeah, they're ionically charged because of the grinding process. And then someone asked me, well, do they ever touch metal? It's a modern manufacturing facility. Everything is covered in stainless steel. Yes, they're going to touch metal. Like
Yeah.
he goes, well, I buy stuff that's not touching metal. I go, if the guy doesn't even have a metal sink, that he's like, no, like what he's suggesting is not. It's not practical. It really isn't.
It's not practical. We can't be that crazy about it, you know?
Exactly. Like you got to like just relax a little bit. So that's
Yeah.
I think that's what makes my cell salts better than most of them out there.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome.
And when people
Yeah.
start to use them and they might feel off or something, what's happening there?
What happens is someone starts a homeopathic remedy. When they first take it, they might get a bigger hit, and as they remove toxins and get used to it and stuff, so they might have a little weird thing. But I'm telling you, Heather, honestly, the reaction to cell salts are so
Gentle.
Minimal.
like so few. For maybe once a year, I'll have somebody with the reaction to cell salt.
That's
Yeah.
I had one lady had probably the strongest reaction I ever saw. she had she was on birth control injections, and she hadn't had a cycle for probably like 7 or 8 years. And then she took the cell salt and that mirror, and then she just started having, like, she felt okay and stuff, but she had this, I don't know how to put this delicately. She had basically a month and a half long period, right? And it was like she was just freaking out. And she was actually she was the administrator of a doctor's office, right? And the doctors
Wow.
called me and everybody's yelling at me like I gave her some poison. I said, look, this is exactly what I gave her, and this is her body reacting to being on this forced birth control with not a single cycle over years and years. And this is, I sort of said, how
What
do you
was the indication for you to give Natmar in that case? Do you remember? I'm so
know?
curious. Oh,
Totally, she
so
totally
curious.
guessed. Totally guessed. I said, take
Wow.
this. And I think she was on day two of it, and the whole thing just like, and
Wow.
I said, let's take a step back. I said, how do you feel? Because I feel pretty good. She goes, I feel good. My energy's good. My mood's good. I
You're
said,
just moving
you gotta
stuff
let it
out
run.
that's been stuck in there for way too long.
Yeah. I said, you gotta let it run its course. And then once she was done, she was back on her cycle like clockwork.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
she was healthy and everything else. But
Just
I
from
mean,
cell salts.
I had to go to, like I said, I had to go to a doctor's office at her work and talk to the guy. And the guy's like, "What did you give her? This stuff's all crap." I said, "Look, here's what happened. Here's the theory behind it. As long as she feels good and isn't losing iron and losing," I said, "just keep an eye on her." And they did. And they're like, "We can't believe what happened." I'm like, "Well, even artificially suppressing this for so long." When we started
Exactly.
this conversation, Vanessa, you mentioned how regular medicine suppresses so much. That's exactly the problem, and
Oh,
that's a lot
absolutely.
of time.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, it's such a major problem. Yeah. Do you have a favorite cell salt?
Ah, today is Mag Foss.
Magpals is such a great one. Like I said,
Oh God.
yeah, that is a really good one. Yeah,
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 man, I've used Mag Foss. Nad Foss is a big one for me.
yeah. I love
Okay,
Mag.
you guys want to hear a crazy proving story?
Yes.
Yeah, we want to hear all the crazy stories. Give us
So
one.
I was on this proving group, and we're proving this remedy, and I'm not going to say what it is.
Mm,
And I was starting to hear voices. I was starting to see ghosts. Like, it was wild. It
wow.
was so wild. Like, I always have a theory that there's like a barrier between there's a barrier between us and what is actually going on around us, just to protect us from the stuff, right? And taking
Yes.
this remedy kind of brought the barrier down. And like,
Yes.
I remember once I was having a really hard time with it. I walked in a restaurant, I could hear every stop time. It was so crazy. And for me to say that, like, I'm a really structured, practical guy. And for me to go through this was really disconcerting. Uh, it was kind of a wild experience. And then I stopped, when the proving was done, I stopped, did all my notes stuff. And within like 2 weeks, I was back to normal. But it was so crazy. I missed some of the ESP part of it, though. That was cool.
Did that influence how you see the world or your spirituality?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I bet
Absolutely.
you it did. Now you
Yeah.
have to tell us the remedy off camera.
Absolutely. And what happened was, I developed a lot of empathy because a lot of other people, they live like that all the time, right? Where they're hearing voices and they're having all these outside influences, and
They
they're
have no
catching
boundaries.
emotions, right? They have no boundaries. And I'm like, I really appreciate the fact that I'm pretty much a heartless robot. I'm a good part of the time. So I appreciate that. But also, a lot of
I'm
empathy.
sure you're not a heartless robot. Yeah, but we do need boundaries, and when we're too open, that can be a challenge for a lot of people. So, yeah, I think that's important.
It's such a fine balance between tapping into your intuition and being able to listen to those voices, and being able to say, you know what, I gotta, it's all great that I'm having this deep spiritual journey, but I gotta make sure my kids are alive and do the laundry and do all this other
That's right.
stuff, right? You gotta find that
Stay
balance.
grounded. Stay grounded. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you've done so many things with all your illustrious history. No, I'm kidding. You've done so many amazing things here and all the groups you're on and so forth. So I want to know, like, what are your pet projects and what is your vision for the future of your company?
Mm.
That's an interesting question. I'm actually working on not quite a succession plan. We hired a professional manager to run operations because, let's be honest, operations sucks. Everybody hates it. And that's freed up like 80% of my time in the last 2 years. My older son's 24. He's got a good education. He's a smart kid, and he's doing more and more of the work. So
Mm.
I'm doing a lot less work than I used to. So my personal goal is to kind of step back and do more of the creative stuff. I love throwing new remedies, doing new crazy stuff. That's fun for me. Um, in terms of the company, we're doing more and more work because we're getting these certifications, doing that. I like to see the company get bigger. Our
Mm,
company policy, we tell this to all our vendors, our people, is we want to help people have fun, make money, right?
that's good.
And
Sounds
and
good.
we have partners, like we have affiliate stuff that we pay good commissions to. And I was talking to one earlier today, and she goes, thank you so much. I'm generous with the commissions. I go, I'm so much happier paying someone that's educating the public than giving money to Google and PayPal and those guys. Like, I hate
Yeah.
those guys. Right? So my vision for the company just is to continue to grow it, focus on the stuff that I'm good at, and then also look at what the stuff I want to do. Like I'm a curious guy. I like learning new stuff, so
Mm,
it's cool.
mm. I
Sounds
love
fun.
that. That's
Yeah.
so great. Well, what do
Oh,
you have? What? Go ahead.
so this is what we're working on right now, and this is kind of cool. So we have a big homeopathic kit. It has like 60 remedies in it. We're
Mhm.
doing a new kit. It's going to have 120 big polycrests in it. I'm going to tie it in with the software. So basically, someone
Mm,
can go into the software and say, "Hey, I have a UTI or I have a headache," and they can
yeah.
run through quick, simple yes, no, and then
Yes.
find the right remedy. So
I
between the
love
kit
that.
and the software, like you talk about empowering moms, that's going to give them 90% what they need 90% of the time, right?
I love that. That's such a huge gift, and that's awesome that you're doing that because people don't realize that if they use homeopathics, cell salts, whatever we need for their acute situations, especially with their kids, especially when they're younger, you are actually preventing chronic disease likely later on in life because you're
Oh,
not suppressing the symptoms. You're not keeping all the junk inside. You're actually helping the body, the vital force, just remove what doesn't need to be there. So I love that. And then they can just quickly look at it says, how does that work? They have to buy like a subscription plan to this
well,
kind of
we have
thing.
it. We currently have it set up. It's called Fast Remedy Picker. It's $100 lifetime license,
Oh,
right?
that's nice.
And it works on the phones. It works on everything. It's really slick. And it's funny, when I was in practice, my kids were little, so I had all the moms group, and UTIs are it's a very common problem. And you go to the doctor, they give you a prescription, and you go back and forth 3 times a year, right? And homeopathy will knock out a UTI in 2 hours if you get the right remedy. And it's so funny because I was thinking with that, like, yeah, I thought a couple of the urologists in town were going to beat me up because I was taking all the patients away, right? Because I was just fixing them. They come in, here's a remedy, here's your profile. The cool thing about the cool thing about using the software and using those kind of remedies is once you figure out your patterns, like when my daughter travels, she brings gelsemium and nexvomica. Gelsemium is her constitutional. Nexvomica addresses her stomach when she's upset, and she'll alternate between two remedies, and boom, that's what she travels with. It gives her so much control over herself and how she feels. It's a no brainer.
It's so empowering, right? It's like
Oh,
you can take
100%.
control of your health and you can really just support. And think about how that empowering it is for a mom who's like, oh, wait, I actually can just help my daughter with her UTI at home. I can help my son when they got a concussion or whatever it is. Like we can just really just take care of these things. And it's been huge for me at home. I mean, I love it. Like it's just so nice to have remedies here to support the family when needed. It's like it makes life so much. You don't have to go to the doctor. It just makes life so much easier.
So I'm excited about the big kit we're making because
Mhm.
most of the kits that have hundreds of remedies, they give you like a tiny vial of remedies, right? They give
Mm,
you like basically, a quarter teaspoon. So we're doing not in 30 milliliters, we're doing in 10 milliliters. So
mm,
bottles not big, not small, but it's in between, and it's all self-contained. So that's gonna
nice.
be that's gonna be huge because one of the ways to find a constitutional remedy is to keep doing cases on yourself, right? And eventually you'll see a pattern saying, look, this remedy comes up 7 out of 10 times. That's my constitutional remedy. And there you go.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it too. I like that. Yeah, that's really helpful. That's a really, really great thing that you're doing. I think so supportive. It's like one of my big missions is to help parents. I think every family should have a homeopathic kit and know how to use it. Like I really do it's because you don't know my case, Mira, but I had chronic UTIs and I took antibiotics for 3 years. The doctors told my parents I had to stay on antibiotics for 3 years. And I'm like, what would have been amazing if I would have just had, a homeopathic remedy at that time to support my case and
And,
fix
and,
that.
and it's ridiculous because UTI is either Cantharis, sometimes phosphorus, sometimes causticum. Like you have maybe 3 or 4 remedies, and you just like knock them out.
It's so true.
Um, that's how I got to do it with my son too, because my son has a rare blood disorder where he can't take medications; they build up in his body, right? And
Mm.
because of that, the more doctors intervened, the worse he got. And I kind of said, "I'm said, screw this. I will figure this out." Like I'm thinking, you know, I'm a reasonably smart guy. I can read, and that's how I ended up with the homeopathy. I figured it out, and that's why I did it because I wanted people having the same ability. Like you have to take what's the word I'm looking for? It's nice to have experts lean on. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against doctors. Like if I'm hit by a car, please take me to the hospital. You know, don't
Of
give me Bach
course.
remedy. Take me to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
But
Emergency care. Yes.
yeah,
Wonderful. Yes. That's their strength.
if they can see an X-ray, they're your guy, right? But
Hmm.
for this kind of stuff, you have to take control for yourself because, first of all, and not even the doctors about they don't have the tools. They're not taught nutrition. They're not
Yeah.
taught that everything's interconnected. They're not, right?
And imagine if they were taught homeopathy and they had that, at the hospital. They had arnica and aconite, right? Just alone, just like hypericum, like these major acute remedies. If we had these things in the hospitals and doctors use them, what a difference that would make for people.
Um,
Mhm.
it- did you know Kaviraj, the homeopath?
I don't know that name, no.
Okay, so he died a few years ago. Kaviraj was a Dutch guy that went to India, got really sick, and ended up studying with them. And the guy's the best homeopath I ever saw. And he
Wow.
was a good friend of mine. And when they had the earthquake in Haiti years ago, I sent them over there with like 900 pounds of remedies, and he was
Wow.
treating entire villages. Like
Wow.
Mm.
homeopathy is so fast, so cost effective. Like
It
he
is.
was just
That's the other thing, yeah.
knocking it out of the park. Like he goes, I didn't even use half the stuff you gave me. Like
Mm.
it was crazy. Like people go in a
Wow.
situation like that and just like boom, boom, boom.
So I feel
Oh,
like
have you,
Amazing.
what? Go ahead.
Vanessa, have you seen David Little's work in Nepal with cell salts?
No, you're gonna be like looking up all these people. David, what?
David Little?
Oh, Little. No, I don't know him.
Okay, so David Little took cell salts to Nepal and treated malnutrition with no change in diet by giving them cell salts.
Wow, that's a really great study. I love that. I'm gonna look
Like,
that up.
how cool is that?
That is amazing. I love it. Yeah, no change in diet. That's amazing. That's a big testament right there of what they're actually doing and how they're supporting us. I love that one. Thank you for sharing it. Yeah.
Oh my God. So, how nerdy have I been in this interview so far? I've been really nerdy.
Pretty good.
No, no, it's been
Last
great.
question about nerdiness. Do you feel like the non-native EMFs are actually compromise? They compromise the products, cell salts, and or homeopathy, or should
That's
we
a
be
good
worried
question.
about that?
Say it again, Heather. Sorry, I missed the first
Do
part.
you feel like we should be concerned about non-native EMFs compromising the products, cell salts, or homeopathy, or you're not worried about that?
That's a good question.
Um, one thing we're taught in homeopathy school is that remedies are very sensitive, and they're not. They're not. You figure they were made 200 years ago. Like, let's be honest. Like they were washing the utensils with river water if they found it. You know what I mean? Like, um, I had a guy that was putting his remedies into boiling hot coffee and taking them and getting a great result. So,
Well, that would break all the rules. I think when I first started using homeopathy, I was very like a rule follower. Don't ever touch the pellets. They got to go into the cap, all the things. And now I'm very much more lenient about it. I mean, I still don't like put my cell phone next to my remedies. Like I still don't do that. Like I probably wouldn't. But, I have taken remedies through like the X-ray machines at, flying and they were fine. And, they still worked when I got to the destination. So I'm like, I think it's okay.
okay, so here's something I will qualify though.
Mm,
Like I said, I have so much sample data to work with. We
mm.
tried doing remedies with less alcohol as because people complain about the alcohol content, right? So when we
Hmm.
reduce the alcohol content, what happened was remedies go from my facility, right, to a warehouse, and then to a UPS warehouse, then in a car, and then in somebody's mailbox for 4 hours, then they get used, right? When I
Mhm.
reduced the alcohol content from 40% to 20%, our complaints went through the roof,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
right?
the alcohol
Alcohol's
is really,
essential.
So,
yeah, it's
so
essential
what we
preservative.
found was having the high alcohol content gives you so much integrity and protection of the remedy, right?
Yeah,
A
agree.
lot of people in this industry, they use glycerin, which is sugar water. Why? It's cheaper, right? It's cheaper and it tastes better because alcohol tastes like crap, right?
Yes, my remedies, when I make remedies for clients, they don't love the alcohol taste. I'm like, just put it in some water and then drink
Yep.
it.
I say put 5 drops in water, mix it up. There you go. But that's one of the things that I don't like because Vanessa, you're 100% right. Like you tell your clients, hey, this is what it is. Suck it up. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't like it either, and I have my one son, my youngest son, he will not take the remedy like under the tongue when it's alcohol. And I'm like, okay, fine, you just put it in water and he drinks it and it's fine. And it works, obviously that's just a water dose. We do that all the time anyway.
Okay,
So
here's the best story I ever heard. Um, One of my homeopath friends told me the story. He had a client with ear infections, so he gave the guy, I think he gave him for some reason sulfur just came in my head for some reason,
yeah.
and the guy put the pellets in his ears.
Oh yeah, yeah, that could work. I would agree.
And it
Why not?
worked.
Why
And
wouldn't
it
it
worked.
work? I mean, I don't see
It
why it
worked.
wouldn't work. I didn't know. I have not done this, but I do know, like personally myself. Actually, no, I have. I did it with Ignatia. I held it to my chest, and I swear that made a difference. And I know people who I know I'm getting woo here for you, Miro, but I've seen it work. Like I've seen it, people sniff remedies and it work, and seen
Yeah.
people put it on their skin and it works. And the olfactory doses work. So there are ways, around that. I mean, I think that's the people who are real sensitive, and then you want to graduate them to actually getting it into their mouth. But I've seen that work too. And I remember putting Ignatia to my chest one time. I wound up taking that remedy shortly after, but it wound up moving something doing that. So, yeah,
No, I get it. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. Um, I think there's so much more to be learned and seen with it.
yeah.
And I hope they get better at teaching homeopathy. A lot of the
Mhm.
stuff that I see, I like Grant Bentley a lot. Have you seen his work?
No, you get to see, I love this. It's so cool to
Oh,
learn
Grant
more.
Bentley, I love his
You have
stuff.
a lot of
He
homework here,
uses
Vanessa.
he
Yeah.
uses face structure to determine miasms,
Oh,
right?
I've seen that, but I've actually not studied it before, but I think that would make.
Highly, highly recommend it. If you're in practice, highly recommend it. And the funny part
Does
is,
he have a book to read with it or just
he
only
does,
like,
yeah. He's got a book,
ooh,
he's got courses, all kinds of stuff. But
yes.
the funny part is you're looking at people's shape of their ears and stuff. So you
Yeah.
find yourself after taking the course and you're staring at people. How big is his ears? Are they angling up? Are they straight up?
Okay, wait. So I've always had like ears that kind of like stick out. What miasm is that? Did you know?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I
damn,
can't
I'm
remember.
gonna know. I
They
was
call
just
it
so
shape ears.
curious.
But it's so funny because after you do it for a while, you start seeing the patterns, right? Like anything else. But yeah, highly recommend Grant Bentley.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm a big fan of basically big general prescribing, right? Go after the big remedies, go after the big symptoms. Like don't go the crazy stuff.
yeah, I
I
love
find
it.
that really moves cases.
I love that. That's great advice. So any other advice for our listeners before we close out today?
I'm going to say absolutely experiment. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing that I don't like about the homeopathy school and homeopathic stuff in general is, oh no, if you give someone the wrong remedy, if you give someone the wrong remedy, nothing's going to happen. Okay.
Exactly.
Unless you're taking a remedy at a very high dose for weeks and weeks and weeks, you will not have a proving.
Yeah.
Right. My advice always experiment. And if you try a remedy, it doesn't work, try a different remedy. Right. Like I'll be doing something and I'll try a remedy, it didn't work half an hour. If I don't feel a shift, I'll take a different remedy. Like,
Same.
just if any advice I have, it's experiment. Like, if you're going to buy a cell salt kit, start taking them, give them to your kids, give them to your dog, like, give them to everybody. Oh, you want to hear a great story? You're going to love this.
I do.
We also have a line that we sell for pets, right? Same
Nice.
stuff, different label. So, we have this one little lady call us up. She goes, look, I see that the remedy you have for arthritis for dogs and cats, it's the same formula. I said, yeah, it's the same thing, but a cat person will never give their cat a dog product. It's the same stuff, right?
Exactly.
So she goes, this stuff serious? Yeah, it's the same stuff. So she sends me a note back a week later. She goes, well, I need to order like a big jug of the arthritis remedy. I go, okay, that's great. You get more cats? She goes, no. She goes, I give stuff to my cat. I give some to my dog, and I take some. And all three of us are happy. We're moving around. We're living life.
I love it. I love that one. That's so good. You know, our pets usually have the same ailments we have, right? We like pick them on purpose. Like they're like literally mirrors in our lives. I swear. So it doesn't surprise me. That's actually really cute. Uh,
It,
well,
I had a friend of mine had a large ranch and he had a bunch of horses. And here in Florida, we get these tropical storms come in, and they're pretty destructive, right? And he calls me because, Miro, look, because my horses are messed up. I need you to come and do something. I said, well, dude, first of all, I'm not a vet. I don't know that. Like, it was just do what you do, because the vet said, he goes, I have like 50 animals ahead of you, so come and help me, right?
oh
And one of
no.
his horses had a big cut above the eye, and there's some injuries and whatever else, right? So I went there, I'm doing aconite for the eye, I'm doing calendula for the cuts and scrapes, and basically I'm doing what I can do, right? I got my kit with me, I'm doing what I can do, and I said, look, let's put some in the water, and that's what we're doing. And the vet came like 2 days later. He goes, why'd you even call me? He goes, these animals are all like totally healed up. And then
Oh, that's
after I did some more
amazing.
research, dose a horse the same way you dose a human baby.
Yeah.
They're that sensitive. Like, it was just crazy.
Good to know. Yeah, well, of course. Like, and I love animal stories, baby stories, plant stories, because obviously people will say homeopathy is placebo. Well, that's certainly not placebo, right? Because
Well, no. Before you give to the horse, you have to explain to him how homeopathy works, because that way you're setting up the mental emotional state for him to be susceptible to the placebo effect.
that's hysterical. I love that one. Well, this has been so fun, Miro. We really enjoyed chatting with you. And it was a great conversation. And we really hope our listeners check out your products, your website, all the things. Tell people where they can find your products if they're not aware.
We're with bestmadenatural.products.com.
Mhm.
We have our products. You can find them also on Amazon.
Mhm.
Generally, the website will give you like a good deal. If you have any questions, send our customer service team. We use humans for customer service, not AI, so we'll be able to help you out. And like, really do try to help people.
Thanks.
The cool thing is we have a cool return policy. If a product doesn't work, say, hey, this product doesn't work, we'll give you a different product to try. And if that
Oh,
doesn't work, like,
that's great.
we're not poopy about it. Like, we're not one of these things like, oh, you you bought this, all sales are final. No, like, if you're not happy, didn't help you, we'll give you a refund. We're out there to help people. We're not out there to say, oh, you know, we're gonna make you send this back at your own. No, like, we're not like that. We're here to be part of the solution. Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. That's very
That's
integral. Hmm.
And you can find the software if you have interest in homeopathy. The software is fastremedypicker.com.
okay.
And it's also, we wrote it so it works on phones and tablets as well.
Okay. Great.
And it has a free trial. I highly recommend, even if you're a homeopath, like, check it out. It's
Yeah.
so quick and easy. We have a guy that we
We
supply in New
love
York
quick and
City.
easy. That's
Oh,
nice.
100%. We have a guy who supply in New York City. He has a tablet. He has a herbal store and a homeopathy store. We supply all the stuff for him. We give him the remedy. He walks out with a tablet. There's little informal consults on the spot, and he just knocks it out.
Perfect. I love that. That's great. That's a good little business right there.
Oh, the guy's awesome. He's one of our favorite. He doesn't actually buy that much stuff, because we have some people that buy like tons of stuff, but
Yeah.
he's just such a gentleman. The guy's just a pleasure to work with. There's a lot to be said for people that are like, that have a good attitude and that are fun to work with. Like, there's a lot to that.
Oh, absolutely. So it's all about a resonance. We're getting to the woo again, but it's about that.
Oh, if somebody wants to be poopy, they can be poopy somewhere else.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I like that.
I watched a Miley Cyrus interview, and she said when they do music, they collaborate with someone. She goes, anyone that walks in has an ego or is a poop head, we never invite them back.
Sounds
And
like
that
fun.
no, that really resonated with me. I'm like, you know what? I'm not, I'm not 20 years old, or I'm trying to start out my career anymore. Like, we just try to have a good time. Like, I'm really enjoyed talking to ladies. It's been super positive, super fun. It's,
Yes.
it's it's been absolutely my pleasure to work with you guys. And if I can help you anyway, if you have any questions, send me a note.
Yes,
If you have
absolutely. Thank you.
some kind of crazy case, I'd love to hear about it. I have uh, I have some medical doctors. One of my clients is a medical doctor, and
Yeah.
she works with CDC and epigenetics for like 30 years. And she gets
Wow.
these insane cases, and
Mm.
it's like a CSI mystery puzzle. Like you got to figure it out. It's so crazy.
I'm sure. Well, thank you so much, Miro. This has been so fun. Yes, we had a great time with you as well. So, yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Take care.